Good day, all. I am Retractor Alan Sebastian George, International Chairman of Retract Club of Cochin Heritage. I'm a third year Electrical and Electronics Engineering student from Model Engineering College, Trikakara. I'm a part time blogger and an occasional YouTuber. Today, I want to throw some light on poverty in India. In the Second World War, 55 million soldiers and 40 million civilians lost their lives. But not every one of them died from guns and bombings. No, about 28 million died due to starvation and diseases directly or indirectly related with the war. But there is a story, a forgotten story, history that you do not know. The Bengal famine of 1943, the last biggest famine of India. It claimed lives of about 2.1 to 3 million. The Bengal Presidency was the largest colonial subdivision of British India in Calcutta. The land productivity was the lowest in the world. To meet the demands, rice was imported from Burma. In 1942, due to heavy rainfall, there was a lot of uh, fungal growths that were challenging the crops, along with cyclones and storms. The Japanese conquered Burma in 1942, and no more rice from there. The resources they had was prioritized for thousands of soldiers who were arriving. People who didn't die due to starvation died due to diseases. Most common was malaria, followed by cholera and smallpox. They had to sell their valuables, their doors and roofs of their own homes, and finally even their own children. Men joined the army while women turned to prostitution to buy food. But what's worse? That the great tragedy itself could have been prevented. From 1992 to 1994, the Indian government begged the British India War Cabinet for food. They even refused help from countries like US and Canada. They rerouted ships that came for aid. The starving Bengal was at the bottom of their concern. There were arguments that it was deliberate and lack of apathy from the British. Winston Churchill commented on the genocide. Rats die everywhere. Even now, the Britain hasn't apologized for this, but they had apologized for Jallianwala Bagh massacre that was about killing of 400 people. But you know why? Because that was famous and this wasn't. The Bengal famine must be remembered. It must be remembered. Yeah, you know, about 28 million people died all around the world during World War II. But that doesn't make more than 2 million preventable deaths any less important. We must remember that poverty that was created due to reckless behavior of the government then, and they should be held responsible. But I don't want to simply stay in the historical era of India. I have something else to say. The healthcare system of India and how it makes poverty in India. India has the most luxurious hospitals in the world, but hospitals for the poor is still a horror story. Government doctors referring to private hospitals for treatments and surgeries to earn referral rewards. Yeah, it's really common in our country. Unethical organ harvesting without consent of the patient or the family, testing new medicines on the poor as lab rats while risking their lives for some of the horror tales we hear. A sick person in a poor to middle class family is sort of a black hole for money. The family can't give up on them. They sell off anything and everything they can for for to pay for the treatments, and still no assurance for the person's life. The poor are illiterate, underfed, and lack proper sanitation, and are always prone to diseases. But they should be made. There should be remedies where it has to be it has to be addressed and conquered. This is the next Bengal famine, same as before, preventable. But no, because the government doesn't want to take any action because all they care about is making money and profit. World Bank and WHO states that half the world lacks access to essential health services. 100 million people still pushed into extreme poverty because of health expenses. One third of the people who are pushed down to the poverty due to catastrophic medical expenditure in the world are from India. Yeah, the number of people who are falling into poverty has increased from 28 million in 1995 to 39 million in 2005. But 25% of rural bankruptcies in India are due to thought to be for medical bills. A lot of people diagnosed with chronic illness attempt suicides to save their family from forthcoming poverty due to medical expenditures. We are in a country where a chronic disease for a person is a death sentence for the unprivileged. And the irony is that India is the country with the most number of medical colleges in the world, with 535 number, and with 78,000 seats every year. As per the book Healers or Predators, written by doctors about corruption in India's healthcare and medical system, about 50 to 70% of medical care in India is corrupted. A lot of hospitals are using a lot of diagnostic devices and heavily pricing you for it, even before you meet the doctor, who then just has to make an inference based on the results. These are additional costs that the hospitals add upon the patients. In countries like India, we have a lot of trust in doctors that we see them as next to gods, and a lot of them exploits it, selling medicines worth rupees 800 for up to 15,000, pricing stents worth 25,000 for few lakhs. And the worst thing is doctors are forced to be corrupted to pay off their debts for college tuition, which is gross in India. They all want to make quick money and more money, so they even leave public sector for private sectors. Do you really need the medicine that you're prescribed? Do you really need the surgery that you're being asked to undergo? There was a case in Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Gujarat where people below poverty line had been set up to had insurance cover up to 30,000 by the government. And what happened is that all the gynecological problems of the women in the area uh, had were diagnosed with cases, and they had suggested for hysterectomy, which cost exactly 30k. Suspicious? Yeah. Even those who visit the hospitals, even now we know that the first thing they ask is, do we have insurance to squeeze it all out? I know it's cliche to say government should take action, but that's the truth. Countries like Japan, Germany, France spend up to 15% of their GDP, whereas countries like India spends about 1.1% of the GDP in medical care and public sector health expenditures. No wonder our life expectancy is just 69 years. And yeah, the government should take action now, because rich is just getting richer and poor getting poor. I hope that one day no one remembers this present scenario as that of the Bengal famine, as another great tragedy that could have been prevented. Thank you.